Truthfully, I never thought anything on the University of Kentucky's campus was out of place, different, or even strange. However, I did begin to wonder why the campus courtyards were different from each other. Hello, I'm Nyla Swain, and you're listening to What's Up with the Woodland Glens. When I was first given this topic in Word 110, I honestly thought the topic would be easy and something simple. Of course, as time progressed and in-depth research began, things got tough. My topic is the Woodland Glens courtyard, and why is it different from the other campus courtyards, mainly with the fact of having a basketball court. Not only that, but a broader question of can the outside impact the inside of the student's social life, in this case, the Woodland Glen courtyard. The Woodland Glens courtyard is a courtyard surrounded by the recently built Woodland Glen dormitories. The courtyard is an enclosed area on the south side of campus. It's well maintained and scenic. It has about 8 large trees scattered across its land and has a brick wall settled right in front of Woodland Glen 3. Opposite of the brick wall are 4 colorful chairs that are situated under a small tree, just beside the stairs that lead from a sidewalk off of Woodland Glen 4, Woodland Glen 2, and Smith Hall. There are more chairs across the grass under another large tree that is planted between Woodland Glen 2 and Woodland Glen 1. Right between the various pathways and in the center of the courtyard is the Woodland Glen basketball court, the major attraction of the courtyard. The court is the infamous Wildcat Blue and is situated right in front of Woodland Glen 3 in front of the brick wall. The area is beautiful and well designed. The picture I provided for my podcast, taken personally by me, displays the courtyard during an event back in August. The area is spacious and inviting. It brings in the Woodland Glen community to gather and socialize, which is not bad. However, there are protruding questions I have about the courtyard itself, such as, does it only bring the Woodland Glen community together? Why does this courtyard have a basketball court and not the others? What is the point of the outdoor basketball court? What is its significance? So on and so on. However, before jumping into the deep questions, I decided to do research on the area first, just to get a hint of what the courtyard / the plot of land was before. Before the Woodland Glen buildings, there were the Cooperstown apartments. The apartments provided housing for graduate and married students in the mid-50s. The Cooperstown apartments were then torn down and were reconstructed into the Woodland Glens. The Woodland Glens consist of 5 buildings, the 5th being the newest. The largest Woodland would be Woodland Glen 3, which the court is settled right in front of. I don't know if it was purposeful, but it kind of makes some sense. It would be easier to think that's one reason the court is there, to supply an area for such a large building where students can socialize and meet. To begin my podcast, I decided to ask fellow classmates and friends what their overall opinion is of the courtyard. How do they feel about the area? Do they think it has a purpose, etc.? I asked these questions to warm them up and just to see if they think there's an underlying reason for the courtyard to be different. I started with my one door down neighbors, Viviana Ortiz and Alyssa Vance, who both live in Woodland Glen 4. Viviana, Vivi for short, and Alyssa are roommates who went to the same high school together. Viviana is a double major in neuroscience and music with a minor in French, and Alyssa is a mechanical engineer major. Vivi's short with long black hair and a bubbly personality, and Alyssa is short with tan skin and long curly brown hair with a loving smile.
So I'm here with Viviana and Alyssa. They both live in Woodland Glen 4. How are y'all today?
Good. Doing pretty well.
How are classes going for you?
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
I'm not failing anything. So
So y'all are familiar with the Woodland Glen courtyard, right?
Yes. Yeah, we are.
So what's your opinion on it?
It's nice. Like, I feel like they have stuff down there, and so it's somewhere you can hang out.
Right.
I like to play basketball, but I'm not good enough to go to the gym, so I really like playing down there with all the dudes.
I also decided to ask my close friend, Kaylin King, who's a chemical engineer major from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and lives in Woodland Glen 3. She's medium height with brown skin, honey brown hair, and a great personality. She's outgoing, nice, and mad cool. I decided to ask her the same question about the courtyard.
So, you live in Woodland Glen 3. So, what is your opinion on the Woodland Glen courtyard?
It's nice. I noticed it was a lot different from other campuses. A lot of other campuses don't have a lot of like courtyards everywhere.
So, what do you notice about our courtyard that the other courtyards don't have? Since you said that.
Oh, well, other colleges don't have as much sitting space. 'Cause, we have all the chairs, and they really don't have a basketball court. I don't think.
They don't have a basketball.
I decided to ask my interviewees what they noticed about the courtyard, and all of them mentioned the court. That sparked my next question of what they thought the purpose of the courtyard and the basketball court was to students and the Woodland Glen community. Kaylin, K for short, believes that the courtyard is a place for socializing and gathering the LLP communities together. I wonder if she thinks that being a source to socialize can come from the way the dorms are set up, the outside environment affecting the inside. I was intrigued on if she believed the courtyard was designed the way it was to gain socialization between students who weren't engaging in socializing activities inside. It's been proven from studies that have been conducted that the way dorms are built and created can affect a student's socializing. The dorms in the Woodlands, alike some on North Campus, separate the students from their roommates, allowing them to have their own space and indulge with themselves. Another study has shown the correlation between dorm development and social life. From an article called Dormitory Architecture Influences Patterns of Student Social Relations Over Time, written by F. Duncan Case, shows that there is such thing as passive contact, which is the unintentional encounter of two persons. This can relate to the courtyard as a place where this can occur. Since it's an area where students gather and socialize, you're more than likely to run into someone who you recognize in your building, on your floor, in your classes, or something in this case. This can help with the socialization aspect of the courtyard. On the other hand, quote, this process takes time and only works for passive contacts between the same people, unquote. Many people don't like to introduce themselves or even bother to speak when encountering with another student, who's more than likely a stranger. Besides the functional and passive relationships, according to the study, quote, architecture will only have a persisting effect if the indigenous population is compatible in the first place. Otherwise, people will become more selective of their social relations, searching far beyond the immediate proximate environment. Physical design is believed to affect social relations principally through its control over proximity among individuals. The closer they are brought together by a phenomenon called functional distance, the greater the chance they will have of meeting one another. The greater the chance of meeting one another, the greater the chance for formation of friendships and groups. However, functional distance depends on positional relationships determined by site design. These include such characteristics as location of service units, such as mailboxes or garbage cans, the paths residents follow to daily activities, for example, the bus stop, unquote. In this case, the courtyard. I decided to ask Kay if she thought this study could be valid.
I mean, I guess so, because I have met people in the courtyard and everything, that I'm currently still friends with and everything, but like in the retrospective, like the dorms, I guess not, because I don't talk to my roommate or my neighbors.
It's interesting to see how her opinion and idea on how the courtyard and court can affect some social abilities. I decided to dig deeper and find more information about dorm life and socializing, and how dorm structures can affect how a student socializes and sometimes performs in college. In an article, The Influence of Dormitory Architecture on Resident Behavior, written by Martin Highwell, conducts a study that, quote, high-rise housing is considered and utilized for dormitory housing, particularly as urban universities with land acquisition limitations consider housing their students in this case North Campus. High-rise is usually defined as more than 5 stories. As such, represents a considerable departure from the usual pattern of cottage-like clustered housing or small hotel-like housing. As such, there might be considerable difference in the patterns of social relations in the high-risers as compared to the low-risers, end quote. In another part of the article, it states that, quote, high-rise housing made it harder to casually go outside. Going outside became a more deliberate act and was done less frequently. In low-rise housing, residents can more easily and spontaneously drift outside, weather and landscape permitting, to relax or study on lawns and plazas. The potential for outdoor activity has long been recognized in mental hospital design, with specific attention to designing places conducive to privacy, peaceful relaxation, and perhaps a sense of oneness with nature. With architectural recognition of outdoor spaces for some purposes, it is particularly surprising that dormitories have not made use of the opportunities in those areas, end quote. Times have changed from when this article was published, but connections can be made. The high-rise would mainly be North Campus dorms as they are settled in downtown Lexington. The low-risers would compare to the South Campus dorms, Woodland Glens, as we are on the calm college feel aspect. There's obviously correlation between dorms and social life, so is that a proposed reason as to why they built the courtyard as it is? However, it's still a question of why the Woodlands? Why would constructors feel the need to put a court in our courtyard? Do they not want the other dorms to interact and socialize with each other? I asked the interviewees these questions.
I like to think they did it, just so we can be social and chat with our peers and be active.
Like it's important just because a lot of times the residents' life, they like to make it where we have a social environment, we're all connected. They try to make it where we're not just by ourselves in our room. So I feel it's just a way that they had it so we can intermingle and make friends.
There's so much that can contribute to this question, but what are the answers? What can be done? Not many people would expect the idea of a courtyard to possibly have a scientific aspect to it. People just think courtyard and that's it, not about its full potential, its full purpose. On the flip side, did the constructors really know about passive contact, or did they just throw in the court for decoration? Maybe they felt that the land lacked something, so what's not better than putting a basketball court? Maybe there's nothing deep to it, just simple as that. There are opinions that the constructors felt bad because North Campus had more enjoyable things like a variety of restaurants. Since the WG community is so far away from that popular city life side of campus, they gave us a courtyard with a basketball court. It's also been taken that most LLPs live on the south side of campus, so they're mainly cooped in their rooms. So the only way to actually get the students out into the world and dragged out of their tedious studies is with the basketball court. I can totally understand and make sense of this, but that can't really be proven. The court is not the main importance of the courtyard, but it does add to it. It's an interesting topic to discuss. Regardless of its purpose, the court does, however, support the idea of bringing the community together. Whether it's students that live on Central, North, South, or even in the Woodlands, it has contributed to my social life and well-being, and I'm thankful for it. Whether it's the act of being social during a school-wide event, a casual one-on-one game with friends, or just studying, the Woodland Glen Courtyard serves its individual and unique purpose to every student.